If you're looking for live local music from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, you came to the right place. Welcome to Hugh Shows.
We're all at the Hugh Show. It's a lot of fun. He's got all the answers. Yeah, he's got them written down. So let's all watch a Hugh Show till he gets to number one. Yeah.
Thank you so much for tuning in. I am your host, Hugh Twyman, and I have been writing a music and photography blog in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for 16 years. Check me out at HughShows.com and follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at HughShows. My musical guest for this edition of Hugh Show's Social Distance Television is Dylan Rooke, a singer-songwriter inspired by both his American and Irish folk roots, who shares stories of working people and common experience. He got his musical start in the punk and hardcore music scene in Pittsburgh, and through the grit, leave stains in the sound, the new approach brings a well-constructed and mature sound to his songwriting, as evidenced on his debut entitled Work Hard, Rest Easy from 2018. And with that, would you all please welcome Dylan Rooke. Hey, Dylan.
Hey, Hugh. How's it going?
It's going well. How are you?
Feeling all right today.
Cool.
All right.
Thanks so much for doing this. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
How's the pandemic been treating you?
Oh, it's a weird time,
Yeah.
as I'm sure it is for everyone. I think considering it's been treating me okay, you know, I'm trying to stay productive, trying to stay creative as much as I can. This is my first time ever being unemployed. So, it's giving me a little extra time to kind of be home, be with the family, but also do some songwriting and some other creative projects around the house. So trying to stay up.
Where do you work?
I'm a stagehand with the Pittsburgh Local 3. So I work at a couple different places, PPG Arena, any of the stadium shows that happen, and the cultural district theaters. So, So as you can imagine, nothing going on there for a while. So
How long have you been doing that?
for a couple years, I used to tour and do, stagehand work for our own band. And I had some friends that were kind of in the industry and kind of said, hey, I think you could get connected up with this. And so it's been great. I'm doing a lot of rigging at the arena and, just general theater stagehand stuff.
Yeah, you grew up in Pittsburgh?
I grew up in the Pittsburgh area. So I was born in McKeesport. I kind of grew up in Westmoreland County, not far from there. I'm actually on an old family farm that's been in our family since the Civil War. So we've kind of been rooted in this area for a long time. But after I gave college a short try, I moved to the city, joined a punk band, and kind of just been rooted here ever since. Bought a home, been fixing it up. So I'm here to stay, I think.
Cool. It's to our benefit. You're going to play 3 songs of yours today. The first one is unreleased. It's called The Other Side. Have you ever performed this out yet?
Yes, I've performed this one out a few times, and I kind of debuted it actually for the WYEP singer-songwriter contest in 2018. And that song kind of got me a winning spot that year. So I felt like it kind of trial the song through, got some good feedback. So yeah.
Awesome. Cool. So if you wouldn't mind, this is Dylan Rooke with The Other Side.
Seems like ages since wandering on the highways in that summer's heat. For the gray stole the colors away with the last autumn leaf. The snow it fell, the cold it held. These steel town winters make you forget. Spring again will come as well. Won't you come on down? Won't you come on down? Walk a mile or two in these old shoes. Cross them tracks, the trains cut through. Come on down. Won't you come on down? Other side of town. Well, they came across the desert sands, over a sea of graves, far from home. Will they be given new honor? Will a prayer be turned away? The bombs they fell, and some hope they had to a resurrection now waiting somewhere beyond this hell. Won't you come on down? Won't you come on down? Walk a mile or two in these old shoes, cross them tracks the trains cut through. Come on down. Won't you come on down? Other side of town. Stop waiting for that trumpet sound to catch you up off the ground. See the heaven and the hell down here, and you'll be found. Won't you come on down? Won't you come on down? Walk a mile or two in these old shoes, cross them tracks the trains cut through. Come on down. Won't you come on down? Walk a mile or two in these old shoes, cross them tracks the trains cut through. Come on down. Won't you come on down? Come on down. Come on down, other side of town. Hey, hey, yeah. Hey, hey, yeah. It's the other side.
And that was Dylan Rooke with The Other Side. Tell me about, when did you start playing and songwriting and all that fun stuff?
Yeah, well, I mean, started playing music when I was, in middle school. Started, in high school playing like in punk bands and stuff. Ended up, dropping out of college, moving to Pittsburgh, joining a punk band, did some touring. And I was playing bass and singing in that band. But I didn't really start picking up like a guitar and really start writing my own songs until maybe, I don't know, early 2000s, maybe 2005, 6. And it was years before I felt confident enough to kind of step into kind of the singer-songwriter type genre, or doing this kind of like folk and rock music. There was a comfort to being in like a punk band. The energy and the kind of the intentional imperfection of it was an easy, comfortable space for me for years. And so stepping into a place where it's kind of just you, and when you're playing live, it's just you in the audience. If you mess up, they know.
Yeah, like right.
There's no way to hide it. It was a much more vulnerable space. I think my songwriting is much more kind of honest and authentic and vulnerable space as well. So it's a very different environment for me, and it's something I'm still having a hard time getting used to. But it's good.
Yeah, but do you have a regular band, or is it mainly just a studio effort?
So I mean, at this point, it's I mean, it's mostly just me. The first album, the debut album we put out in 2018 was with a band. And so for the first couple of years that we were writing songs, I did have a couple old bandmates that kind of joined up with me to kind of work on these songs. They kind of liked what they were hearing, and we kind of have always connected over the last 15 years over music. So it just kind of seemed natural to kind of start working with them. Kind of pulled in a couple other friends as well. And so for maybe like 2018, 2019, it was much more of like a kind of band and trying to play shows as a band. But this stage of life is hard to kind of keep regular practices, regular bands. You have a kid now, and family, and all of us kind of with work and whatnot. It was hard to kind of do the full band thing all the time. So we kind of scaled that back a little bit, and I still have new songs that I've been writing with those guys, but it's a little more kind of as we can and as it makes sense, instead of trying to make it a full-time thing all the time.
Yeah, interesting. We're going to hear another song, if you don't mind. This is called Ghost Light. This is also unreleased. Have you played this one out as well?
I've not played this one out live yet.
Ever? So this is a HughShows debut?
Well, in a sense, I debuted it on Facebook Live because I wrote this one since the pandemic. It's actually about like our entertainment industry kind of being shut down through the pandemic. So the song just kind of like came to me as we've been kind of struggling through this, and so it's kind of like from a stagehand point of view about being out of work. And for those that know kind of theater speak, the ghost light is the light you put on the stage after a stage goes dark and you're done with production. So it kind of tells a little bit of our story about kind of wrestling with our current crisis.
Right on. So this is Dylan Rooke with Ghost Light.
Mm-hmm.
Sing a song of mine, no body in the time, as we lose our lives and days, there goes all our pain, and all of it left the stage, as the lights dim down to black, it all fades, as the ghost light burns away. That burns away. On April 1st it's due, it comes for all of you. Can't afford to stay at home, your very breath out on loan. And there's no more songs to play. Lights dim down to black, it all fades. The ghost light burns away. The ghost light burns away. As the ghost light burns away, will these heads find work again someday? As the ghost light burns away. Don't care the hell of who, but the walls they built surely do so. Tell my friends we're sayonara, and will they miss us when we're gone? Sickness don't care the hell of who, but the walls they built surely do so. Tell my friends we're sayonara, and will they miss us when we're gone? As the ghost light burns away. Ghost light burns away. The ghost light burns away till these heads find work again someday. And the ghost light burns away.
that was Ghostlight from Dylan Rooke, about theater experience. Don't say Macbeth in the theater, or you have to walk around the theater 3 times because it's bad luck, right? I was a theater major for a semester. I used to work on television and movie production, and at a certain time, one of the producers was a theater professor at Point Park, and he's like, "You should go to theater. You should go to school and get an education." So I did, and I hated theater. I thought it was just so not me, and I've never
Not
really
for
been.
everyone.
No, it's not, and
Yeah.
it was just like, oh man, I'm not having a good time. So I dropped out, but I didn't drop out. I dropped out of Point Park and went to community, and eventually got my education degree. But then,
Yeah.
yeah, it's I just don't enjoy theater. My buddy's trying to take me to plays all the time, and I'm like,
Yeah.
eh.
Well, it's an interesting dynamic, kind of being on kind of both sides of this. As an entertainer and performer, kind of being on stage and kind of knowing that whole element, and then also now kind of as a kind of job, kind of working the back end and doing all the technical setup and all that stuff. So it is a really interesting. I got a handful of coworkers that are also musicians and performers as well, and a couple other local bands. And so kind of being able to work both sides of that kind of entertainment industry is an interesting perspective.
Yeah. Do you have any idea when you can resume working, or when they're gonna?
I mean, been talking to some some of the union fam, just on Facebook and whatnot, and I mean, our guess is probably not until next year.
Wow.
Even a lot of the the holiday stuff that we usually get busy with. I don't think they're going to be ready. The cultural trust and other employers that we work with probably aren't going to be wanting to risk it until then. So it's interesting. I mean, there's a couple of folks that are kind of have the house positions at the theaters, and they're staying busy kind of dusting out old speakers and painting, stuff they haven't done in 10 to 20 years, and they're doing all their house upkeep, which is nice that the employers are trying to keep some of us busy. But yeah, it's a rough time. It's hard to kind of sit in that uncertainty and wonder, when will things be normal again, and will it ever be normal?
Totally scary. Yeah, it's just a big unknown. I'm a teacher. We don't know if we're going back in the fall, and if we do, what it's going to look like. So, yeah, but better, it's just better safe to be sorry than to rush back into it. But do you mind playing? Yeah. So, do you mind playing a song from your first and your debut, "Work Hard, Rest Easy"? This is called "We Are the Ones." Cool. So here's Dylan Rooke with "We Are the Ones."
Walking the streets of this old mill town. Well, what we got left, and the people here, they got something else. They didn't go leave like the rest. They welcomed in this stranger, helped him set on into a home. They said, "Come on and just don't push us out. Together we can sing this song. We are the ones, we are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the ones, we are the ones, build our own future. Don't need no handout of pity or a false sense of charity. Oh, we are the ones, we are the ones we've been waiting for." In some ways we're poor, it's not who we are. Just don't got those same rules where those in power made their promises, but then only serve the few. Well, them politicians, bankers, and bosses, she got a lot to say. Oh, we can't wait on them. It's time to organize and build our new world.
And that was Dylan Rooke with We Are the Ones from his debut album, Work Hard, Rest Easy. You have material for the follow-up?
Yeah, so I mean, the first two songs played were our songs that I'm hoping to have on this next album. You know, like I said, with the band that I did this first album with, a couple of those guys have kind of worked with, you know, I've probably got 5 songs with the band worked out and probably another 5 that I've just kind of been working on my own. And my hope is that we can start at least demoing before the end of the year. You know, I was hoping to do that earlier this year, but then, you know, everything went to hell. So
yeah, it's like what everybody says.
I mean,
all the plans are just, you know, delayed, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's been interesting. Yeah, I'm trying to take advantage of that extra time to kind of work on, you know, dig a little deeper into the songs, maybe in a way that I wouldn't have done otherwise. You know, it kind of forced me to kind of pause and kind of work on some stuff and kind of fix up my, you know, I've got a little garage I've been setting up as a little home studio. So trying to, you know, dig a little deeper, that maybe, which is something I haven't really done before. You know, I've been so used to working with a band, we just kind of write a thing together and get ready to push it out. Whereas now I'm able to be a little more intentional about the songwriting. So it's been an interesting transition. So hopefully, you know, 2021 will, hopefully earlier in 2021, we'll be ready to kind of have something recorded and get it out there. I'm getting antsy for new ones. So.
Yeah, definitely. Everybody's getting antsy for some entertainment. This online thing is just getting old, but you know, hey, it's all we got right now, you know. So speaking of online, where can we find you on the internet?
Yeah, I mean, all the regular spots like Facebook and Instagram. You know, find me at Dylan Rooke Music is usually where you'll find it. Or if you want a kind of landing page for all my musical stuff, is DylanRookeMusic.com.
Cool.
And there's links to my music, to any videos I put out, and any social media connections there. So, yeah, that's how you follow up.
Sounds good, man. And I appreciate you doing this. Really, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me on. It really means a lot.
Yeah, and it's nice meeting you virtually. Hopefully, we'll meet someday in the flesh. Yeah, you know. Yeah,
we can hope and dream.
We can all, that's what we can do. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in to this episode. You can check me out at HughShows.com. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at HughShows. And always remember, never forget to #support Pittsburgh music. Thank you so much. Thanks, Dylan.
We have a way of explaining things to Hugh. Yeah, we have a way of explaining things to Hugh. Yeah, we have a way of explaining things to Hugh. Yeah, we have a way of explaining things to Hugh. Yeah, we have a way.